Professor Diaries presents the 10th and final episode of our National Gerontology series. We have traversed biology, neuroscience, economics, Vedic science, and global models. But this last episode goes beyond data. It reaches into the heart of humanity itself. This is a call to recognize aging not just as a personal journey, but as a civilizational responsibility. Aging is now a planetary phenomenon. It is a cognitive evolution. It is a policy gap. And it is a spiritual opportunity. And yet, gerontology is still absent from our universities, parliamentary priorities, and cultural dialogue. This must change. And Professor Diaries is here to push that change into motion. The 20th century was about adding years to life. The 21st century must be about adding meaning to those years. Longer life is now commonplace. In Japan, people live into their hundreds. In Italy, life expectancy has crossed 80. In China, life expectancy has crossed 80. In Sweden, life expectancy has crossed 80. In Kerala, life expectancy has crossed 80. But what do those extra years mean? If they are lived in isolation, are they really a gift? If they are used to awaken the higher self, can they actually liberate the soul? Modern longevity, demands a new vision. One that includes biology, society, spirituality, and even the planet. Studies reveal that most people over 60 feel one thing more than any physical pain: purposelessness. After retirement, roles just vanish. Social networks shrink. But the mind, it remains sharp. And the heart, well, it keeps yearning for impact. This is not a medical issue. It is a national waste of human potential. Professor Diaries calls for a purpose framework in national policy. Retirement should really include reskilling. Seniors should be mentors in universities. And the wisdom economy, honestly, should be recognized as GDP. Gerontology is the vehicle to bring this vision to life. In Vedic Dharma, aging is not decline, it is initiation. After fulfilling social duties, the soul is ready for an inner pilgrimage, deep study of scripture, detox of desire, and service to Dharma. Aging is when the consciousness turns inward to prepare for eternity. Ayurveda recognizes this through rasayana practices. The Upanishads teach this through sannyasa. And the Bhagavad Gita embeds this in every teaching. Modern gerontology must now merge with this spiritual biology. A silent connection exists between aging and environment. As more humans live longer, resource demands rise: hospitals, housing, energy, and waste. But this can be transformed. Seniors are the best teachers of minimalism, the true preservers of natural rhythm. Elder eco-villages, wisdom forests, intergenerational sustainability projects. These are just a few of the ways forward. Let gerontology be linked to planetary healing. Even today, India has no central policy for aging education. Niti Aayog, UGC, and CERT, IICT, none have issued a gerontology framework. No retirement to reskill program, no national care worker training module, no school awareness on intergenerational empathy. Professor Diaries proposes a gerontology action bill calling for... So here's what we're proposing. A National Gerontology Council, a 3-year degree plus a 1-year online modular path, and a mandatory gerontology elective in both teacher and health education. Modern brain science is actually validating what Vedanta taught thousands of years ago. The brain doesn't really shrink, it just changes its patterns. In fact, the right brain, which is all about intuition, tends to dominate as we age. And interestingly, the pineal gland begins emitting light in the later stages of life. Plus, breath science can actually rewire neural firing. Gerontology shouldn't ignore this. Instead, it should make these findings central to its teaching. Elders are not, memory loss machines. They're wisdom conduits. So, the line between human and machine is really starting to blur. especially, for the aging population. We're talking about AI companions, brain chip interfaces, biological replacement organs, and even gene editing for aging control. And while this is all really exciting, it definitely raises some big questions like, who controls the tech? How do we make sure we retain dignity? And what's the role of the soul in all of this? Gerontology absolutely must include tech ethics and soul science, so that immortality, well, it doesn't mean the loss of our humanity. Every discipline can really benefit from gerontology. For example, in law, it's about the rights of the elderly. In education, it's teaching empathy and, memory culture. Science brings in longevity genomics. Psychology looks at aging trauma and resilience. And engineering, it's AI and robotics in care. India needs a cross-curriculum model where gerontology is actually an add-on module in every graduate program. Honestly, this is how national consciousness is created. What if we taught young people that being an elder is a role, not a rest? Imagine creating a national program called the SAGE Initiative, where those 60 and older are teaching in schools. There could be wisdom circles in villages, and public forums to recognize aging leaders. Recognition breeds responsibility. When society respects age, the elder starts to respect themselves again. The true test of a civilization is this: how it treats its aging. Professor Diaries calls for a full cultural renaissance, where aging is no longer hidden, denied, or feared. Aging should not be feared, but embraced. Let's make gerontology the national movement. It is not just a medical issue. It's not merely a welfare scheme. Instead, it's a social awakening. Thank you for walking this 10-episode journey with Professor Diaries. This is not the end. This is the beginning of a national mission. If you believe that India should become a global beacon for aging wisdom, then stand with us. Subscribe to Professor Diaries. Comment, "I stand for gerontology and education." So share this video with universities, governments, and global thinkers. And remember, longevity without purpose is a curse. But longevity with Dharma, well, that's a gift to the world. Support the mission just by doing your shopping. You don't need to donate. You don't need to subscribe to any course. You just need to shop with purpose. Everyday shopping through our link helps fund future educational series interdisciplinary research on aging and consciousness outreach to universities, students, and policymakers, and, honestly, a national movement to make gerontology a core subject. Professor Diaries signs off with conviction, clarity, and a commitment to make aging the center of our education, policy, and heart.